Welcome to Essentials Explained. My name is Luke, and in this video, we are going to talk about what you should do if you have multiple offers to different consulting firms. So number one, if you are in this position, congratulations. Take a moment to pat yourself on the back. You're a rock star. You're amazing. You crush it. This is not easy, right? It's hard enough to get one offer. It's really hard to get multiple offers. Take that moment to be happy for yourself. Congratulate yourself on all your hard work, because it is not something that is easily done. Once you've gotten past this period of elation, what you should do is really start to realize that you are now in the driver's seat. Once a firm has issued you an offer, they've invested a lot of time with you in the process. They may have met with you during a coffee chat. They have probably gone through at least 2 rounds of interviews, maybe more. And then they maybe spend some additional time wooing you after the process. So they've spent a lot of time trying to get you to work there. You are in the driver's seat and you get to dictate what you want. Take this with a grain of salt and don't suddenly ask for 2x the pay, but you have the right to ask for certain demands, which is if there are questions you didn't feel you got to ask during the interview process, like what really is work-life balance? What are my specific responsibilities? You can ask those and you should ask those. And you should really make sure you understand the questions that are critical to you when you're making this decision. The questions I would really make sure you understand is, number one, what is the culture like? It's one thing to look at the website and ask this question in an interview and not really listen to it because it's your canned, pre-populated question that you ask at the end of every interview of, oh, so tell me about how your culture is different from your competitors. Really ask this question and really listen to the answer. Because if you're someone that wants to work really hard and wants to, spend your weekends working, you're going to do better at a firm that has that culture. If you're someone that wants to log off at 5 or 6 and not work any weekends, make sure you know what culture you're getting yourself into, because those cultures are better for different people. And what you need to do is identify where you are going to be the most successful. Make sure you understand culture. Next thing I would understand is make sure you understand what the staffing model is like. This is something that's important that I think people that haven't worked in consulting don't truly understand how important it is, because staffing dictate your experience at a firm. So 2 people can enter the firm at the same exact time and work there for 2 to 3 years and have completely different experiences, because one gets put on projects that are burners and that are really hard and that crush their sustainability, and one gets put on interesting projects that have a good work-life balance and work with great managers. And if you work in consulting, you will see there are outliers on both ends of the spectrum. There are people that get crushed by staffing. There are people that get unbelievable benefits from staffing, and then probably about 80-90% fall in the middle. It's just the nature of the beast. But what are the questions I would ask? I would ask, are you responsible for networking to achieve your own staffing? This is something that I'll tell you, Bain does not do. Bain, you go to a staffer and they staff you on specific projects. Understand, am I going to need to be networking to get on projects, or am I just going to be placed on projects by a centralized staffer? Next question, is it a home staffing model or is it a travel staffing model? So are you likely to work on cases in your individual region and with team members from your individual office? If you are based out of the San Francisco office, are you working with other folks from the San Francisco office primarily and on cases that are focused on the West Coast? Or could you be staffed on a case out of New York that is in Chattanooga, Tennessee, and you will have to spend your Sundays flying there and then your Fridays flying back? Something that is very important to understand, and you are well within your rights to ask and make sure you have clarity on before signing an offer. So those are really the 2 main questions I would ask to make sure I truly understand them. Next, when you're really deciding between offers, think about variables besides the different firms. So if you have an offer from Bain in LA or McKinsey in New York, there are obviously differences between those firms, but they'll be less critical and less influential than where you live. So if you really, really want to live in New York, take the McKinsey offer. It's not going to be that different from working at Bain. If you really want to live in LA and hang out in the sunshine, then work at Bain in LA. That is more important than the firm you work with, is the city you live in, because that will actually dictate your life and your experience much, much more. So asking for more compensation, I would say if it's a more established firm, there is standardization between the different roles. and different compensation buckets. So there's less flexibility to negotiate for additional compensation. If you're working for a smaller firm, there may be some leverage to negotiate for a higher base salary or bonus or some kind of financial compensation, but I would not push your luck. Last point when deciding between multiple offers is they will typically give you a PDF or a piece of paper that outlines the different specifications of your offer. So this will include your base salary, your bonus, but what it will also include is the number of vacation days, the 401k match, the health contributions, which can meaningfully add up. I would make sure you understand those benefits that accompany your raw compensation. How many vacation days do you really get a year? Because the difference between 10 or 20 is really, really big. Or how much 401k am I actually getting? Because that could add up to potentially thousands of dollars in retirement savings that could compound over the next 4 years. So there are real differences in benefits between firms. I would say probably most of them are pretty close, but make sure you understand that, because that's actually something when I came in, I didn't think much about and thought, oh, here's the headline number. This is really all I care about. Where understanding those differences can actually be critical and can have a larger disparity than you might realize. Thank you for watching this video. If you're interested in more consulting content, please check out the other videos in this playlist. Otherwise, thank you for joining us at Essentials Explained, and we look forward to seeing you again soon.